Brainiac, one of Superman's most dangerous enemies. He's been everything from a computer genius to a genius computer and everything in between. But what happens when Superman has to fight every version of Brainiac? And what does Lobo have to do with this? Is he on Superman's side, Brainiac's side, or Lobo's side? Let's find out in the crossover event, House of Brainiac. This is a new arc. The arc is House of Brainiac. That's what it is. We haven't had a Brainiac story in a while. Actually, the last time I saw Brainiac was like in the Milestone universe. He was fighting like Icon or some shit. You know?
Well, they've been teasing him for a while. Like, I haven't read Joshua Williams' Superman book in like a year or so, like last year, and they were teasing like Brainiac, and he was doing something with Lobo. So that's why I jumped back on.
Okay.
So
interesting. Okay. So it's not really just a fresh arc. He's basically been doing this for a while.
Yeah, he's been building something up here. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, let's get to it. Action Comics number 10. What is it? 1050, I guess?
1063 or something?
1063. Oh, thank you. Okay. I could read that. All right. So here we go. So the book starts off with Space, the Final Frontier. Yeah, Brainiac is basically come to fuck shit up. And yeah, there we go. So Lois, day off. That's pretty much what it is. Lois having a day off. She has a mixtape from Pete Ross, which I don't know how she knows Pete Ross, because Pete Ross from Smallville, not from Metropolis. And I'm wondering, did Ross make her songs from a mixtape? Or is that Pete Ross mixtape? Is he rapping on it? Does he have like the hardest mixtape in Metropolis? I don't know. Anyway, she's doing a thing, going through that meeting. You basically get it's kind of introduction if you don't know the super family. You got super family, you got content.
Yeah, that's what kind of like, okay, this is going, because I wasn't reading the action book.
Yeah, but this is the introduction. So basically, since Lois's day off, she wants Connor and Keenan. I guess she wants them to watch the super Keenan and Kong. She wants them to watch the Super Twins. While she is basically going to Centennial Park. She sees Kara, she sees Lana Lang, Steel. They got engaged. So
I didn't know Lana. I didn't know Lana was super now.
Well, I thought she was, and they went away, but then they brought it back. Whatever. Yeah. Okay, she got powers now.
But that's good. I mean, that's just good. You know, that's good comic book writing. One page, he introduces everybody.
Yeah, because they basically want you to feel like, okay, you can. This is a jumping on point for people.
Yeah.
Trying to get into it. This is a jump on point for you, especially as his first time on the book. Perry Wright running for mayor, Matt says they're running for mayor, so you know who he is. Ron True works for Daily Planet. Boom. So it's introducing you everybody in these books, and it's even introduced you to the supervillains because John Corbin, Metallo, they've been in there. He had his Metallo family. You got Bibbo showing up. You got Parasite.
Yeah.
Who else we got here? Livewire, and these all people have been fighting. Lombard shows up. So yeah. Chica Cord. Now, I'm not too familiar. I think he's new, or he might have been old. I don't know. Whatever, like that. Basically, status quo for Lex Luthor is that he has been transferred from Stryker's Island to Supercorp because he saved Metropolis in the other Superman books. So the base of that. So he's going to Centennial Park. Centennial Park is like the big thing in Metropolis. Basically, their version of Times Square. You know, and he introduced you to his daughter and Mercy. You know, so yeah, what is Lois doing? And Jimmy Olsen and his new girlfriend, who is the Silver Banshee, who used to be a Superman villain, but she's good-ish now. So yeah.
That does remind. That's like I vaguely remember something about that.
We reviewed that book. That was in. Yeah. Oh, see, that's the thing. Everything they're doing. Well, it's like they're combining the Superman book and the action comic book into one book. That's what it feels like they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're basically doing storylines from both of that.
That's smart. Well, if he's writing both books,
but he wasn't writing the action book. The guy that's writing the Hulk book now was writing that book.
Okay.
But he's still incorporating Kennedy, but he's still incorporating the stuff that was in that book in this book. But it's mostly the stuff because the Supercorp stuff never showed up in action, just in Superman books. But now it's showing up in here too. So it's like everything together like that. Anyway, and they're like, well, where Clark? So basically, they're doing yoga in Centennial Park. They're like, where's Clark? You know Clark. You know he is. He always late. But really, he's doing Superman shit. Yeah. So the thing is, what you have here is Superman having fun being Superman, flying with birds, dolphins. He sees a wave, puts his hand through the wave. So he's actually having fun as Superman. Is that a thing? Is that possible? I guess, you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, flying over a soccer game. I'm sorry, a football game. Football. Shout out to our listeners in Zimbabwe. Shout out to y'all. I see y'all. I hear y'all. So
FUTBOL.
Right.
Football.
Football. Yes.
Yeah.
And the kid's like, hey, Superman. And he high fives the kid, breaks his arm, anyway. And he flies over to the Centennial Park where everybody else, and he shows up as Clark Kent. Hey guys, how you doing? And like, Clark, what the fuck are you wearing? Because he got to be all goofball, nerdy, shit like that, because he's Clark Kent. And they're like, so why did you want to meet us at Centennial Park? And why are you taking a day off when you never take a day off? And they're like, we have an announcement day. And right before they make the announcement, Superman gets his super senses tingling. Basically hears some shit out of his left ear, stuff like that. And they're like, Clark, what's going on? He's like Clark Kent, and he's like, get out now. You can tell he switched. He ain't Clark. He's Superman. Like she knows the difference. She knows when different. And basically falling out of the sky is a bunch of Brainiac robots and Lobos. Even though Lobo's supposed to be the last Lobo. So Superman has already switched, and he's calling the super family, okay, y'all, stop doing what you're doing. Stop playing arcade games and shit like that. Time to go to super mode.
Is that what that was? Did Brainiac shrink one of Lobo's cities or something?
I don't know.
And that's where these motherfuckers are from?
Well, see, here's the thing. Lobo said he was the last one. He's been saying it for decades. Like ever since Lobo ever was in a first comic book, he said he's the last of his kind. Either they got killed off or he killed them, one or the other. So how the fuck are there?
Is this something where Brainiac took one of the cities back in the day?
If that is a thing, that is a retcon. Okay. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that makes sense if that happened. But up until this point, Lobo was always saying that he killed. Basically, he was the last Czarnian. That's what he was saying. So it's a whole bunch of Czarnian. It's a whole bunch of his planet people from Czarnian. They're here fucking up shit. The super people are fucking up shit. Everybody's wrecking. Lois Lane, like, y'all know the drill. Come on, execute A or whatever like that. Every time a super war starts and shit like that. And while they're fighting, Steel is basically saying, I'm trying to call people. I'm trying to call the Justice League and shit like that. I can't get anything out of the city. Like nobody, we're just here, like that while they're fighting. More Lobos are like, yeah, you bust stitches, they're saying the bastiches, all this shit like that. and they're just shocked like that. Where the fuck are there Lobos? I thought Lobo was the only Lobo. Where are these people coming from? So yeah. And that's when Superman's just like, I know who's behind this. Brainiac. And so what you're saying, Eli, makes a whole lot more sense. And if there's a retcon,
because that's ringing a bell. Because that, like I said last time, like when I remember when they teased Brainiac, I think he had something to do with Lobo. So I'm wondering if that's what it was. If he had a shrunken Lobo city.
He stole his city. Okay, that makes sense. I'm cool with that. Even though that is a retcon decades after Lobo was created. Whatever. Let's go with it. Superman fight a bunch of Lobos. So yeah.
Didn't Lobo have a daughter like during the New 52 and shit? That was a New 52.
Well, his daughter's Lex Luthor's daughter.
Oh, okay.
That's who's in Lex Luthor's house right now. But anyway. Oh, and then he's like, okay, excellent. General Chakal, execute phase 2. Whoever Chakal is. All right. So we go to it, and like I said, I think they're going through Bibbo's place, Ace of Clubs. I think it's Ace of Clubs. I think so. Anyway, they're Super Court. They're Super Court. And everybody's blaming Luthor for this shit. Like, Luthor, what the fuck? What did you do this time, Luthor? Like, I didn't do this shit. I don't know what the fuck going on. I don't even think more than you do. And that's when she's like, I know you behind this shit. And that's when like Luthor's AI goes on board. He's like, sorry, Luthor, you've already lost. And they were like, what's going on with LL01? Like, what's wrong with your AI, Luthor? Luthor's like, I don't know what the fuck that. I've never seen that thing before. And I was just like, what the fuck? Because that thing has been in Josh Williams' run since his run started. And the thing has been like it's been running Supercorp. It's been talking
that hologram thing.
That hologram thing. It's been there since the first issue. Yeah. So, and everybody just assumed Lex Luthor built that thing.
So Brainiac built that.
Brainiac built it. Lex Luthor never seen that thing before. They're like, what the fuck? And that's when it starts getting overwritten by Brainiac. So Brainiac built that thing the whole time. And he's been the one. Basically, he's been in control of Supercorp the whole time. Not Lex Luthor, not Superman, Brainiac. There's a plot twist. Shit. So it's like, what are you doing, Brainiac? Dun, dun. It's supposed to be like, dun, dun, dun. It's supposed to be like a big shocking thing right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's when he's just like, okay. And he sends some more Lobos in to kill Lex Luthor. He's like, okay. And they blast them, and I think they take Lena or Mercy or both. They take both of them. And they snatch her. And then
bottling everybody up.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Like that bottle image, I think that's the new thing. They want you to know they're being bottled, visual image. So yeah,
it looks like a water bottle.
Like a water bottle.
It looks like a water bottle,
right? But visually, you get it. You understand? So, so I like that. And Brainiac's just saying, "Kill Luthor." The Lobos run at him, and Luthor's like, "Well, I was trying to save this for a rainy day. I was trying to use it for kill Superman, but I'll take you guys out." So he gets like a light Green Lantern Lex Luthor armor thing.
The Doom shield suits.
The Doom, yes. Okay. Now you're making Doom references. But it only lasts for 10 seconds. So you got 10 seconds to take these guys out. So he crashed one through the window while it's falling. And he's basically like telling Superman, they're like, Luthor, what did you do this time? He's like, Superman, I didn't do this shit. But I know who's doing it. He's like, tell me. So he lands. He's like, look, Brainiac behind this. And he's like, so what did you do? He was like, look, I just find him. Brainiac is here somewhere. You got to find him while they're blasting him. Supergirl gets snatched up. All the super family gets snatched up. Everybody gets snatched up left and right. You're like, Superman, what the fuck? So Superman's like, and then he gets captured by the Lobos. Oh, and then right before Jimmy Olsen gets killed by one of the Lobos, he flashes with a camera and blinds him. And while he recovers, that's when Silver Banshee, bam, blasts one of the Lobos away. And she gets snatched up. So yeah, and they get snatched up, and Superman realizes what's going on. Stryker Island gets hit, and all of his supervillains get snatched up. So what Brainiac's doing, Superwoman, all of it. So any metahuman in Metropolis and Kryptonian get snatched up. He's stealing them, but less Superman. So Superman is fighting, and he gets his ass kicked by the Lobos because there's too many of them. And that's when General Chakal shows up, and he's looking at you. Oh, is this what they call a Kryptonian? I've heard of you. And then he gets blasted. He's like, oh yeah, did I hear something about you? You kicked my cousin's Lobo ass. I figured he was weak as fuck. So yeah, so he's ready to take it. He's ready to just beat his ass. And he's like, okay, we got everything. Let's go. He's like, well, it's time for us to go back to the ship, to the mothership. And Superman's like, cool, that's all I need to know. And because they thought Superman was weak as fuck. They're like, wait, he's stronger than that? So he just breaks out of their grip like it's nothing and just kicked the shit out of them. And he was like, okay, Chakal, take me to where we're
he was like biding his time. He's just like,
yeah, they thought he was weak as fuck. But like, nah, he could have broke out shit anytime he wanted to, but he didn't know where Brainiac's ship was. So now they get teleported, and right before he zaps Superman, Luthor shows up, and Luthor grabs, he was like, Superman, save us. And they get teleported to Brainiac's ship. So he knows Brainiac is close by, but he's been invisible, couldn't see him. So right before he sees Brainiac's ship gets out of there, it teleports to God knows where. So he goes back to the Daily Planet, sits there to think. He can visualize everything that's going on. He sees Jimmy crying. He sees the steel, because the steels don't have power. So why would Brainiac take them? So and that's when Lois is like, Superman, they took the kids. And they look around. She's like, Clark, they took the kids. So, they made sure nobody was there first. And that's when he realized that there's one person that knows where they are, Lobo.
Yeah.
So you got to find Lobo. So that's when we get the Council of Brainiacs. So, I guess. But I'm starting to recognize all of them, because the one on the right, that's the one from the Superman cartoon in the 90s, from the Justice League cartoon. That's him. That's the one from the Silver Age. The one in the back is like, all these are Lobos. I mean, I'm sorry, Brainiacs had already been a thing. So yes, this is technically the Council of Lobos. So yeah. So basically what Lobo's plan is that he wants to, instead of bottle cities, bottle super people and share that knowledge with the other Brainiacs of the multiverse.
Oh shit.
The House of Brainiac. So yeah.
The House of Brainiac, yeah.
Yeah. And the next issue, they say the Last Sons team up. So Superman has to find Lobo, team up with Lobo to save his family. And Lex Luthor. But yeah. Also, I did notice that Action Comics and Superman, they both had the same left-right cover. So Action Comics is on the right side of this, and this is on the left side of it.
Okay. So it's like, so you can put them together and shit?
Yeah, you can put them together shit. Yeah.
For collectors, that's how they get you.
That's how they get you. You gotta catch them all. So like I said, this is the House of Brainiac storyline. Part 2, Brainiac kidnapped his whole family, and he's got Lobos with him, so he's going to get Lobo to help him out. So this is a Superman Lobo team-up book. The book starts off in Coast City. And what's going on in Coast City? Lobo's there in Coast City. Won't start a bar fight, just beating up people, just because he's bored. Just doesn't care. Fucking up people, smashing shit, wants to drink for free, and all you hear is Lobo. Like, what the fuck calling my name like that? Turns around, oh, Big Blue, by the time you showed up. Okay, so Lobo is stranded on Earth right now. A matter of fact, every alien that's on Earth right now is stranded on Earth. That's another storyline for actually it has to happen in Green Lantern comics. So Superman is like, we got to talk. And Lobo's like, I'm not here to talk. I'm going to whoop some ass. I ain't beat nobody's ass in like a week. So, and you're strong enough. You can take it. Let's go, Supes. So he throws some shit at him. Superman breaks it. He gets ready to punch him. Superman just grabs him instantly and heat visions his face off. And Lobo is down for the count, just like that. So this big bad fight between Lobo and Superman they usually have, no, it's just done. And Lobo like, what the hell did you just do? You burned my face off. You're like, I'm impressed. Because normally Superman doesn't go that hard at Lobo. He holds back. He realized that Superman's not holding back right now. He's like, Lobo, I ain't got time for this shit. Let's go. And he just smacks the shit out of just past. He was like, Lobo, look, we gotta talk. Where's Brainiac? He like, how the fuck would I know where Brainiac's at? No, where the frag would I know where Brainiac is at?
Yeah.
He's off
that Bastages.
I don't know where that Bastage is at. So we go to Brainiac doing evil shit to evil people. He's got Livewire tied up. He's torturing Livewire. Shocking Livewire. I don't know where. He's like, okay, bring me another one. He's basically looking at all the other people, and he's looking at Kara. He's like, Kara's like, leave her alone. I'll beat your ass, Brainiac. You're like, I'm sure you will. But until then, you will do my bidding. Just talking all kind of bullshit. Evil, laugh, walk through there, basically telling everybody the process. Oh, and he says what he's doing right now, because Kara's just like, Brainiac, what are you doing right now? Why are you kidnapping people? Ain't your whole thing that you want to know everything? And Brainiac is saying, I already know everything. While y'all were doing all the bullshit y'all were doing, I was traveling the multiverse. I know everything that is, was, and will be. Everything that you might be a thing of, I already know what you're going to be. So that shit bored me. So now what I'm trying to do is collect things of other Brainiacs so I can pass it to them. And that's when so apparently Brainiac is sick. And basically the Super Twin looking like, when have he ever been sick before? And who helps him out? Other Brainiacs. So the Council of Brainiacs help him to his sleeping den or like that. Like, okay, I don't remember that's
his
thing.
Bunk.
Yeah, his bunk, his sleeping chambers, like that. So we see Metropolis got fucked up. I never seen Metropolis that bad before. And basically, like, Superman is just showing Lobo news footage of what happened, and he's just showing him. And Lois is like, can we trust him? You're like, I could trust him to be him. That's about it. And while Lobo's looking at the news footage, he's like, okay, because Lobo, just like we thought, was the last Czarnian. He thought he was the last of his planet. And now he sees that people from his planet just fucked up Metropolis. He's like, okay, so I've seen people pretend to be us, but this looks like the real deal. This looks like my people. And plus, that looks like, oh shit, that's my cousin, General Chakal. Now, I never met him before, but I heard about him. And the shit I heard about him, Superman, you might want to worry about him. So anybody that has Lobo shaking his boots is somebody you might need to worry about. That's basically what Lobo is trying to tell Superman. He's like, I don't care. We need to find him. And another thing, okay, so basically what's going on right now is that Lobo is trapped on Earth because the people that run the Green Lantern Corps, they put a quarantine up. So nobody can travel outside of Earth and nobody can travel inside of Earth because Earth has so much fucked up shit going around it because always they trying to fuck up the universe shit like that. Like, no, Earth is cut off. That's it. That's why Hal Jordan is stuck on Earth. He can't leave Earth right now. So
that's from like what was going on in that Green Lantern comic, right?
That's exactly what on Green Lantern comic. It's all time. And guess who writes that book? Joshua Williamson. So so all this shit is tying in together. So they're basically saying, so how are we going to get off the planet? Because we get off the planet, the United Planets, the Green Lantern Corps, going to know we snuck off. And that's when Supercorp shows up. Like, actually, we have a way to get you off the planet. They're going to basically do some stealth shit to Lobo's bike to get him off the planet. And Superman like, okay, it's cool, but what about me? Well, don't worry, Superman. We got a way around you too. So that's when you get Lobo back in his bike and Superman with his own bike.
Yeah. Like, why does Superman need a bike?
Yeah, like Superman needs a super bike. Okay, that's a new thing. So toys sold separately. So they're gonna sell that shit. So
I did like this panel though. I thought that was pretty cool.
It reminded me, like, what was that? What was that damn movie? The Dennis Hopper movie back in the 70s. The one
Easy Rider.
Easy Rider. That's reminded me of Easy Rider right there. Yeah. And they basically just sneak past the Green Lantern Corps because they're invisible. They've been cloaked. The Supercorp cloaked them. They're like, I guess your space nerds are pretty good. So we just snuck past them and that's it. And they left the solar system. So they're going because basically Brainiac thinks he knows where to find Brainiac. And while they're bonding. They're bonding while they're flying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wasn't
because
this cute?
they've always been at each other's throats and always fighting stuff like that. But now they can just sit back and talk. And because Lobo was acting like Superman, like, why were you so fucking angry? Why were you pissed back there? I've never seen you that pissed before. You're like, you've seen me pissed off before. Like, no, never like that before. Bet you look like you was at my throat before. So what's got you pissed off? Like, you've never been that pissed before. And basically, Superman's just telling him, look, like my dad told me, like Paul Kent told me that when you yell at somebody, they don't remember what you said. They just remember that you yelled. He was like, and he like, you believe that? He was like, sometimes. Well, that's what Lobo would tell him, like, okay, yeah, that's cool and all that. But sometimes you got to let motherfuckers know. Because if you let that shit bottle up in you the whole time, you're going to explode. And I think Lobo may be playing, maybe this just me reading to it. I think that explains all that multiverse injustice and Zack Snyder shit. Because when Superman finally loses shit, he just takes over the planet. You know,
yeah.
So like sometimes you gotta let shit go. Sometimes, man, you just gotta let it blow. So then, and that's when they realize, we got to start. Like, oh shit, did the Green Lantern Corps catch us? Like, nope. Family reunion, and that's when his cousins show up. They're like, oh shit, they ready to fuck him up. He was like, okay, well, guess we're gonna find out who's the real best Stitch. Because you want to be the main man, you gotta beat the main man. And then that's when Brainiac
see that's what's gonna keep it from me being that's what's keeping this from being book of the week for me.
So. What, the Brainiac bullshit?
No, the fact that they cut away from the fight.
Yeah, because that's what you want to see.
I was like, oh shit, right? And then man,
right. They cut back to the Brainiac sleeping and shit. So he's getting his beauty sleep. And while he's doing that, yeah, we get past that. And
he's talking to Lex Luthor. Yeah,
he's talking to Lex Luthor. So he freed Lex Luthor, even though he captured it. And Lex Luthor just like, leave my daughter alone because his daughter's like half Brainiac. He like, look, if you give me back my daughter, I'll give you Superman. And that's when Lana Lang is like, Luthor, you diseased maniac. And then he's like, shocker, process her, and takes her to do whatever. And they can't do anything. And that's when Supergirl, because she's been trapped by Brainiac so many times and knows about Brainiac, she knows how to get out of that shit. So she breaks out of it and breaks Superboy out also, kind of Superboy. And they're free, but they're also tiny.
They're tiny.
Because, they're shrunken cities, so they're shrunken. So, yeah, to be continued. Oh, and they're powerless. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the Superman shit, cool. Super Family shit, but you got to throw them in there. So, yeah.
I was totally into the Lobo shit. And then when the Lobo showed up, I was like, oh shit, battle. And then cut away. I was like, oh, damn.
Right.
So it was, but I did enjoy. I was into this. Yeah.
So yeah, I want to see what's going. Like I said, we got Lobo and Superman teaming up. I don't know if that's ever happened before, but I want to say, and it's a nice dynamic. It's basically good cop, bad cop, lethal weapon, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm digging it. I kind of spoiled it earlier, but we're gonna do Action Comics number. What was it again, Eli? I forgot.
1065.
There you go. Okay. My memory's going too. Yeah. So we're doing 1065. And like I said, House of Brainiac Part 3, and we're going to go to it, and let's see what we got. Okay. So they're in space, and they're floating in Brainiac's big brain spaceship shit. Okay. Yeah. Thing. And basically, who's talking to him? Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is talking to him. Because Lex Luthor has flipped on him, because he was on Superman's side. Now he's like on Brainiac's side. He's like, look, just leave my daughter alone. I'll help you kill Superman. So, or get Superman or whatever the hell he wants to do. Meanwhile, Superman and Lobo are in space fighting the Czarnians, Lobo's long-lost city of people or planet of people. Yeah. Fighting them. They're fucking them up, beating them up and shit like that. And Superman's like, I don't need a bike, man. I can fly. So he's heat visioning their bikes because they can't fly. Taking their bikes, and he's smacking them in the face with their bikes, shit like that. And he was like, Lobo, grab a bike. Let's get the fuck up out of here. And they'll be like, no, I don't run from a fight. Like, we're not running. We're getting away because all this is a distraction. The longer we spend time fighting these guys, Brainiac is getting away. They're like, fine. So they jump in. Boom. Lobo grabs one of their bikes, flies off, and Superman just flies off because he can fly. So meanwhile, Supergirl and I think the Superboy, they have escaped one of the bottle cities. But the thing is, the bottle traps, but they're still small, like Ant-Man small. And basically, they're telling them to turn around, take a look at that. They got some Brainiac wolf dogs after them, sneak away from them. And they don't have any powers either, So they sneak past because they're so small. And they find Livewire and Parasite. So they free them, So they free them and they try to find, ways to get them. So they're right on top of them. They go to the armory because Supergirl knows enough about Brainiac's ship that she knows where the armory is at. and she feel like whatever it is that can get us back to normal, it's got to be here. So they find the thing that gets them back there, and they find weapons also. Like, so what should we do with this? So they take the weapons and they start shooting Brainiac robots and shit like that. Start shooting their ass, shooting all of them, head towards Brainiac, and Brainiac's like kick the shit out of all of them and take Supergirl for himself. And then he's like, "What are you doing here, Argonian?" So the reason he calls her that because she's from Argo City. So just referring to where she's from. So I don't want anybody to think that that's like some kind of crazy ass Supergirl nickname or some shit. And she spits on him. And why doesn't Brainiac like kill her or shrink her? We're about to find that out in a second. So he goes down to the Bottle City and he expands it, and it's on top of the Brainiac ship's skull. So he has recreated his city, the city of Kolu, and it's just there. You got this awesome shot of it just floating through space, and he's just flying through the city of Kolu, so where his people are, because he was supposed to be the last of his people. And basically, Brainiac is like, so this is the city that I plan to rule, and it is fit for a queen, isn't it, Supergirl? And then Supergirl like, ugh, the fuck? So she's like, I'm out of here. So she takes Luthor, and she's like, Luthor, what the hell are you doing here? Whose side are you on? Are you on our side, my cousin's side, Brainiac's side, your side? And she kidnaps Luthor, and they jump, but then she realized she can't fly. So Brainiac's just like, bring me back my bride. Luthor, do whatever the hell you want to him. I don't care about him. And so, yeah. So back to, we go to the Hardcore Station, which is the galaxy's most ruthless place of scum and villainy, wherever you go. So Superman and Lobo just walking through this place. And the reason they're there, why I got girls winking at Lobo and shit like that. And Superman's like, why are we here? Like, the reason we're here because you need information on where Brainiac is at. And I know a guy that will definitely know what Brainiac has been up to. And the person to go to is Space Cabbie. Now, this is an old school 60, 70 space dude. And his power is he just drives a cab through space. That's just what he does. You think Marvel space shit is weird? DC space shit is weird. But anyway, Space Cabbie sees Lobo, runs the fuck about it. He like, where you going? And he like, spill the guts where he's been. He basically tell him what he's been up to. He like, look, the reason I'm out of here because I see Lobo, because you crazy ass Czarnians have been going around the planets that have superpowers and kidnapping people. He was like, yeah, they hate that. And that's when the Czarnians show up there. They were like, what the fuck? How does Czarnians even find us? And Chakal says, we tracked your stench. That's how we know you're here. So, and it basically saying like, look, we can do this fight again where you're going to lose, or we can have a side chat and we can team up against Brainiac. And it's when Superman's like, I'll never join you, General Carl. He's like, shut the fuck up, Kryptonian. I wasn't even talking to you. I was talking to Lil Cuz over here. So he's trying to make a deal with Lobo. Yeah, because like I said, they're cousins. So he was just like, look, I've heard all kinds of stories about you, Lobo. I keep hearing you're the main man. You're the baddest dude in the galaxy. And then other times I hear that you're a fucking joke. So I'm here to whip you into shape because you need guidance. And here's the thing. I'm getting old. But I need somebody to whip these guys into shape. I need somebody to take over the Czarnians. But none of these guys can do it because they suck. You, on the other hand, you're strong enough to take my spot. But there's only one thing to do it. You have to be on my side, because do you want to be the main man or do you want to be the boss? And he was like, I know what you're doing. And then that's when he looked like he joins the Czarnian side. They're like, cool, you're on my side. So it's only one thing left for you to take over the Czarnian people. I need you to take out the Boy Scout. So next fight, Lobo versus Superman. So we're having another fight with Lobo versus Superman, even though Superman clearly kicked his ass the first time. So I don't know what's supposed to be different, but I don't know.
Or that we'll actually see it.
Or we'll actually see a fight this time. But like, yeah, then we're gonna cut to the next page and they've already fought. Superman already kicked everybody's ass.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. So I don't know how this is gonna go on, but we'll see. So I guess they're doing this whole, and Brainiac wants to marry Supergirl. That's the weirdest shit that's happened so far in this thing. So
yeah, this is
it's kind of losing steam.
Yeah. I think this issue was a little bit filler for me. Like I've been on this shit. I've been like excited for the story, but I felt like this issue, because last they teased they were getting chased through space on the space bikes, right? You know, and they got a little bit licks in, but then they left. So I was all ran off from them, and I'm waiting for Lobo to like Lobo out. You know what I mean?
Right. 3 out of 5 only because Space Cabbie showed up. So yeah.
Was that a good thing?
Yeah, it's a good thing. I like Space Cabbie.
Okay.
House of Brainiac. What are we on? 3, 4? I can't remember.
Something
like that. Okay. So basically, it is they're Superman and Lobo are fighting again, even though they've already fought. That they're fighting again. So yeah, that's pretty much the book. All right. So the book starts off with Superman and Lobo fighting, beat each other's ass because apparently now they can trade blows. Well, I mean, they can always trade blows, stuff like that. And meanwhile, Lobo's cousins are just looking at Lobo fighting them like, oh, look at him. Because basically, if Lobo wins, he becomes leader of his people. So he fights him, and Superman's getting pissed off about this shit. Like, Lobo, why are you even fighting me? And you got this big, awesome, not a splash panel, because you got some other panels up there also. And basically, he's trying to tell Lobo to stop. Lobo won't stop. He's trying to kick his ass. He's like, this fight has been coming for a long time. So Superman like, okay, if you won't stop, let's take this fight outside. Then he starts cheating, like heat vision in the eyes and stuff. So he's like fighting dirty now. So Superman takes Lobo and takes him outside of the spaceship because they're in like a bar where people are around him. And basically trying to talk to him like why do you want to work for Brainiac? Because the people work for Brainiac. He was like, wait, I can't have my people just like you can have your people. I just want to just rule my people. I don't give a shit about Brainiac. So while they're going back and forth, that's when General Takal wraps a apocalyptic chain around him, like it's from Apocalypse. So supposedly Superman can't break out of it, but maybe Superman can, but he may want to be captured. He can go to Brainiac. But anyway, Chakal and the Czarnians, they fly off and they take Superman with them. So, that's it. They bring Superman back. And Lobo actually delivers Superman himself. He's like, Brainiac, I got him. Okay. And Brainiac's just like, okay, finally, we got him. So he straps him to this thing. Oh, those are Super Twins. People don't know who Super Twins are. And he straps Superman to the thing. He's like, no, don't do this. And he fries him, basically like saps all of his powers and shit. And it's some more people also. Who is that? Livewire, some other people. He saps all their powers and drains them for something. So what they're doing, he's absorbing the powers and putting them into this thing. And he tells them exactly what's going on. So, and all of a sudden, the bride of Frankenstein wakes up. Or the Brainiac Queen. I guess we call it. Rise, my queen. So that's what he was talking about in the last issue. So last issue, I thought he was talking about he wanted to marry Supergirl, but no, he wanted to build his own queen. That's his evil plan, to make his own queen. So, and Brainiac is like, okay, now she just needs one more thing from you Czarnians. And that's when like, here we go. Okay, House of Lobo versus House of Brainiac. Let's go. And then she's like, no, it's not going to be that type of fight because I know in all my study of history that even though you Czarnians are supposed to be immortal, Lobo killed your whole planet. So obviously you're not immortal. She knows how to kill you because she has all the powers like Kryptonians and other powerful beings, stuff like that. So she just needs to do a test real quick. So she goes at the Czarnians and bam, and it's a slaughter. She takes them out like it's nothing. And then when it's all said and done, she's just like, more power. While she's standing over a pile of bodies of Czarnians. To be continued. So, yeah. Brainiac's got a girlfriend. So, yeah. You still on board, Eli, or you kind of? Yeah, I know you kind of shaky the last issue. So
yeah, I mean, I was like, I came this far. I was like, it's like I might as well see it.
This is the summer blockbuster. This summer blockbuster, right? It's either this or Blood Hunt. It's one or the other.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot about Blood Hunt.
Me too. And we're gonna jump into it. And Eli, I'm gonna go first.
Right on, yo.
We got a bunch of Superman shit we're gonna talk about.
That's right. House of Brainiac has fallen.
All you haters in the comment section, thanks for listening, but still. House of Brainiac, the fall of the House of the Brainiac. All this shit like that. Part 5. Now, some genius at DC decided to drop part 5 and part 6 at the same time in the same week. So good job on you, whatever asshole did that. So we're going to end up reviewing both of those this week. So we're going to start with part 5. We're going to just jump into it. So let's get into it. So the book starts off with, like I said, the last issue actually had Lobo's whole family of the Czarnians wiped out, killed by one swipe by the Brainiac Queen. And she's feeding off Superman and all the Kryptonians. That's how she's getting powered up. And she fell to the Czarnians also. And she's getting even more powerful. But she killed all the Czarnians except one. She didn't kill the main man. She didn't kill Lobo. And Lobo was pissed. She's like, who the fuck told you to kill my family, Brainiac? Nobody kills my family but me. So you're going to answer to me now, because he was on Brainiac's side until Brainiac just did that bullshit. And Brainiac's just like, my wife just killed your whole family, man. What are you going to do? He was like, well, Brainiac, you think you may be smarter than me, but I'm smart enough to do one thing. And bam, free Superman. So now it's Lobo and Superman versus Brainiac and his wife. So they were like, okay, but Superman just got drained because the Brainiac Queen fed on him, so he's still recovering. So he freed all of the other super people. And now Lobo was kind of like apologizing, like, look, man, I didn't mean to stab you in the back. Brainiac screwed me over, which I kind of knew it was happening. I can't beat him on my own. So I need your help, Superman. And matter of fact, if you tell anybody outside of this shit right here, I'm going to beat your ass. So let's go after him. And Brainiac's like, kill them all, since his people at him. So now, and the Brainiac Queen is just beating the shit out of all of them, but Brainiac is doing other shit because since she's weak, because she just killed all the Czarnians, they still have kind of a chance to not get wiped out immediately. So he decided to free Lena Luthor, Lex Luthor's daughter, and decided to plug her into the Brainiac ship. Why is he plugging her into the ship? Because to control all his drones, to control the Brainiac Queen, and to control all the ship is too taxing on him. So he needs somebody else in his place to run all the information through. Now, it may kill her, but that's a chance he's willing to take. So while they getting the ass beat by the Brainiac Queen, getting shit smacked out of him and shit, Connor, Superboy, just remembers, wait a minute. One of our supervillains that fought like a couple issues ago used my powers in a way that I never used it before. So let me do the same thing. So he does his kinetic energy into the floor. And what he does, he shorts out the Brainiac ship. And since he shorts out the Brainiac ship, he shorts out the Brainiac Queen. So he stops her for a little while. He's like, what the hell did you just do? So, yeah, so everything's paused and she gets short-circuited. And Brainiac is like, no, what did they do to you? And Superman's like, what the hell going on, Brainiac? And then Brainiac is like, you're too stupid to understand what's going on with me. And Superman is like getting a good shot in on him. And he finally realized what Brainiac's whole plan was this entire time, making this whole queen. Is because, yes, Brainiac knows everything in the multiverse, how the universe ends, how the universe begins, but he doesn't have anybody to share that information with. That's why he made his queen. He wants a family. That's Brainiac's whole plan. And Brainiac, shut up. You don't know shit about me, Superman, and slams into the wall and shit like that, And that's when the Kaluans, I may be screwing it up, but I'm going to call them Kaluans. The Kaluans, basically from Brainiac's home plan, he was like, we're going to stop you, Brainiac. And like, no, you're not going to stop me. And what Brainiac does end up brainwashing them. And Superman realized, okay, I'm not dead yet from that hit that Brainiac just gave me. So obviously my superpowers are slowly starting to come back, And that's when the super twins show up like, super dad, all this shit like that. So, and that's when they decide, let's get the hell off this ship. But they can't leave because they got all these bottle cities still on the ship. And Superman, leave no city behind or people behind. So we got to save everyone. That's the super rule, So, and that's when Lex Luthor and Supergirl shows up. Luthor said, don't worry about this. I got a plan to stop Brainiac once and for all. And Superman is pissed because this whole thing is kind of Lex Luthor's fault. And Supergirl like, hold up, cuz, hear him out. Let him talk. He like, I got a plan. Like, look, Brainiac made me work on the Brainiac Queen. But he didn't understand that when I did that, I made a backdoor into his network. So he let me in without knowing he let me in. So I'm going to, and he got this cool panel right here where Lex Luthor has on a Brainiac mask. He's like, I'm going to hack into Brainiac's mind and take over from the inside. But Superman knows that if Lex Luthor does that, that could possibly kill him. And Lex Luthor like, so what you going to do, Superman? Stop me from saving my daughter? Or are you going to let me do my job? He's like, man, what do you want? He was like, I want you to keep Brainiac off my ass while I happen to his network. Because the moment I get into his network, he's going to send his drones after to kill me. He's like, fine, we can do that. He's like, I know you can. So Luthor hacks in, and here comes the Brainiac drones and the Brainiac. And Lobo's is like, I want a piece of Brainiac for what he did to my family. So now you got this cool panel right here, Supergirl, Superman, and Lobo. And the other super family are freeing the bottle cities. That's where they are right now. So you just got these three holding the line to save Lex Luthor, give him time to hack into the system. And Brainiac's like, oh, you're not fighting my army. You're fighting my family. To be continued. So, yeah. Honestly, it was the penultimate episode. It's giving us ready for the finale. Even this episode, they just gave me this episode, I would have been happy with this. but we got the finale coming up. So yeah, so even this issue, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 because we finally understand what Brainiac's plan is, and I'm satisfied with his plan. I think his plan is evil enough for him to do all this bullshit he's doing. The finale of the House of Brainiac, the fall of the House of the Brainiac. Yeah, so this is Superman 15. I know we just did Action Comics 1066, and now we're doing Superman 15 because, like I said, somebody wanted to drop both of these in the same week. So I don't know.
I did think that was a little weird too. Yeah.
Like, why are you doing that? I don't know. Give us time to breathe, man. But yeah. Anyway, Superman 15. Let's get to it. The finale. House of Brainiac. Fall of the House of Brainiac. All right. So, like I said, we just left off what happened with that one. And the House of Brainiac ship is blowing up. Reason it's blowing up is because Lex Luthor is hacking into their system. And he's getting in there. And meanwhile, you got Superman, Supergirl, and Lobo getting the shit kicked out of them by a bunch of Brainiacs.
That's a fucking dope panel.
That's a dope ass panel. Yeah, just a bunch of, they just getting overwhelmed and shit. And while they're fighting, Brainiac is trying to power up the Queen because the Queen got deactivated when they deactivated the ship. So it's only a matter of time before she gets back online. But until then, Brainiac can just kill everybody. And meanwhile, Superman just freezes a bunch of Brainiacs, goes Brainiac Prime. He was like, Brainiac, this shit stops now. And then Brainiac, bam, punches him in the head. And Superman's just like, damn, okay, so my head is still attached to my body. So obviously I'm back in full power. Thanks, Brainiac. Thanks for letting me know. Bam, and see, he visits him in full power. And Brainiac just walks through that shit. Like, I kind of forgot Brainiac was that damn powerful. So, and he just like punches him again and shit. Like, fuck you, Superman. You know. So basically what he's telling him is that when my queen gets back online, she's going to kill everybody in your family anyway. Everybody except you. I'm going to leave you alive on purpose, just strong enough, just weak enough, so she can feed off your ass for the end of eternity. But everybody else in your family going to die. And I'm going to take her back to the earth, and she's going to kill everybody on your planet also. And meanwhile, you can see Lobo and Supergirl getting their ass kicked because there's too many Brainiacs overwhelming them. And she was like, looking at the House of Brainiac has won. And then you got the rest of the super family coming in because they were free in the bottle cities. They're like, screw all that. Let's just whoop some Brainiac's ass. So they join in, but even them joining in really doesn't do anything. They get a few hits in, but they still get overwhelmed. So they're fighting a losing battle, basically. So the only thing that can save them, Lex Luthor was able to hack into the system, able to find Brainiac's brain, his nervous system, his CPU, and he was thinking like whether or not he wants to absorb that information for himself or just stop it. But he decided like eventually, now I'm just delete Brainiac's information. So he jumps into the network himself to delete Brainiac's information, even though it probably going to kill him too. So when he does it, now Brainiac is cut off from his hive mind. So the drones fall down, boom, drones gone. His family wake up from their hive mind, so they're no longer possessed anymore like that. So that was just Brainiac just by himself, you know. And Lex Luthor is not dead; he's still moaning and shit like that. But so they out of the system. Meanwhile, it's a countdown until it hits 0 about how long they got before they can get out of it. Because like Brainiac intelligence 58, Brainiac intelligence 43, like this. So it's about to blow up. They're about to get out of here. So Lobo has all the bottle cities. He was able to get them, and he basically smashes them all together. So he solved their problem. Like, yeah, I got all bottle cities. I got them. So like, okay, Superman tells everybody, get out, find some escape pods, everybody get out of here and go. I'm going to take care of Brainiac. And meanwhile, Brainiac is talking to his family, his Kaluan family. He's like, where y'all going? Y'all can't leave me. He's like, you can't possess me. And he's like, don't turn your back on me. So right before he's about to smack them, he gets heat vision again by Superman, you know. And Superman's like, Brainiac, what the fuck did you want? Why'd you kidnap my family? Why'd you take everybody? Why'd you do all this? He was like, because I needed more power. And Superman's trying to tell him, because the thing is, the more the ship's blowing up, Brainiac is getting dumber. So since he's getting dumber, he's getting more frustrated. He's starting to feel more emotions. And that's what Superman's trying to tell him. Like, the emotions you're feeling is regret. The reason you're feeling regret is because you got all this knowledge, but nobody to share it with. That's why you took the family. That's why you took all these drones. That's why you made this wife, because you know that eventually you're going to die and you want to pass this information on to somebody. And now you realize that you're dying and everything you know is dying with you. You're feeling what every other living person on the universe feels. This is the first time you're feeling this, Brainiac. And so he's finally talking sense to the Brainiac. Superman is finally talking sense to Brainiac. Brainiac's what's going on. He's like, look, man, whatever you do, just save the Kaluans. Just make sure they don't die. And Superman He like, you sure? He like, yeah, just save them. I don't care what happens to me. So Superman, boom, takes off before the ship blows off. And the whole thing is counting down. Brainiac, 12%. Brainiac, 5%. And you can see the Kaluan city flying away from the Brainiac ship. But how is it flying away? Because Superman saves it. Dun, 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 dun. Superman saved them. But before Brainiac completely blows up in the fire of his Brainiac ship, he sends the Queen Brainiac, who is dormant right now with no power, he sends her out on the ship on her own before it blows up. Kind of like it's reminiscent of like when Jor-El sent Kal-El from Planet Krypton. It's like the same frame where Brainiac sent Queen Brainiac out of the ship before Brainiac blew up. So he's dead. We see Brainiac blows up. He dies. But not before sending Queen Brainiac off like that. He was like, where my story ends, your story begins, my queen. That's how the story goes on. So yeah,
the fucking woke shit. This fucking woke shit.
So now Brainiac is a chick now.
Yeah, what the fuck, this woke trash.
So that's basically what happened. Yeah, so Brainiac is going to be a chick going forward. So we know that. Okay, we got it so loaded up. All right, so the aftermath of everything was going on. They're back in Metropolis. Everybody's having. So you had Power Girl and the Steels holding down Metropolis while they was off in space doing space shit, And basically what happened to the bottle cities, the Kaluans were able to regrow the cities. And they put all the cities into a planet of their own and calling it Kolu 2.0. So all those bottle cities are on one planet now. And Lobo's like, this is going to be chaos. So it's just my type of chaos. So basically,
I'm there.
Right. So I know this is going to be crazy. So he's talking to Superman. He's like, damn, Superman. So we had this big adventure like that, man. I'm kind of liking this new you because I've never seen you pissed off like this before. People should kidnap your family more often, And he's like, well, anyway, you bastard, I'm out of here. And next time we're going to have a real fight. And Superman's like, every fight we have is a real fight. Knowing he's bullshitting because he always pulls his punches even with Lobo, And that's when Lois Lane's like, okay, hey, you going to make out with this dude or you going to come see your wife? Because I ain't seen you in weeks. So he goes down there with his wife. He kisses and stuff like that. They, hug and stuff like that. And that's when Lena Luthor and Luthor show. They're like, Superman, we got to talk. And Superman apologized to Luthor. Like, look, Luthor, I know you've been lying to me the whole time. I know you had your reasons. So I just want to say apologize. You have my trust. And Luthor is just standing off in the space. He's like, Luthor, you're there? And he's like, Luthor? Who's Lex Luthor? So he fried his brain when he blew up the Brainiac ship. To be continued. But that's not the big thing. So they say, okay, the next issue, Absolute Power, #1. But after that, Doomsday is back.
Is that who that was? So I was wondering, is that Doomsday?
That's the panel, because that's a reminiscent of the panel when Doomsday was freeing himself. He was punching through the walls like that. Where is he right now? Where has he been? Who knows? So he's back. So yeah, that's Doomsday. Doomsday's coming back. So yeah, right. But that's in the fall. That's months from now. We ain't got to worry about that right now. So
because Absolute Power is coming, man.
Because Absolute Power now, one catastrophe at a time. So yeah. So overall, this was a satisfying conclusion. This may be the death of Brainiac. They've reset Luthor because Luthor, and in the panel, I'm trying to show you that when Luthor reset Brainiac's brain, he was like, I got to save my daughter and my friends. So when he was saying his friends, he was talking about Superman and his family. So like he really was with them at the time. But now that they reset Luthor's mind, they're probably going to turn him evil again. So, but it was a cool arc they gave him for a while. So yeah. So no, this was a strong ending to a wibbly wobbly story.
Yeah, I was disappointed in the whole Lobo Superman team up. I was hoping for a little bit more action, from that whole thing. But whatever.
So, and it kind of wrapped up his family. He found his long lost family, wrapped it up a little bit too clean. Just kill them off. Be done with it. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm still giving it a 4 out of 5. It was a good, strong, easy breezy arc before we get into bigger, better stuff. So
yeah, it started cool, then got a little muddy in the middle, but then it had a strong ending.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. So yeah.